Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Chris. I thought I'd catch up on a little viewer mail, and I'll start with I had a nice visit with the Long family, and back in November, early December, and they were nice enough to send me. They said, "Do you like maple syrup?" Well, who doesn't? They also have homegrown Japanese white hulless popcorn. So they sent me a sample of each and a nice Christmas card with a nice letter from each of the kids. So thank you very much for that. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. And we will be enjoying this soon. I've been holding off on using any of it until I can get this done. Let's see what else we got. From Don Clark, I believe. Yes. He sent me this tool, and maybe I can put in the video that he did, but let's see if I remember how to use it right. Yeah, slide. You know, you do things, and then when you hold it, and then when you do other things, it's a wire twister. Let's see. Oh, you move this part, I believe. It clips onto the wire, and then you hold the wire, you pull the other part, and voila, it twists your wire for you. Pretty slick. So thank you, Don. It was very nice of you. He said he had a couple extras laying around, so he sent me an extra one he had. I definitely appreciate that, Don. Hopefully I can get smart enough to use it. Let's see. And I have, this is really cool. From, oh, that ain't the name. Carter Stedgy. I'll read this to you and then I'll grab the camera. I collect anything Oliver, especially advertising pieces, so when I found this on eBay of all places, I had to get it. I'm not sure if you have this already, but I felt it should return home to its original dealership and family. Enjoy watching and learning from your videos. I think it's very cool that your dealership has been in your family so long, and the pieces in your collection are very impressive. Hope this letter will find you and your family well, and have a very Merry Christmas. Tells you how long I've been sitting on some of this stuff. Thank you, Carter, and gotta show you this. This is what he found on eBay. It is, well, it's got a thermometer. As you can see, it's not super warm in here in the parts counter area. It's expensive to heat this much space. Yeah. It's a handout we would give out to customers. And actually, if you look on the back, there's a little insert thing here. And a calendar inserted in there and hung off the bottom, and I'm guessing that way you could swap out the years and still use the same setup. But that is us, Vern Losey and Son, Farm Equipment. Don't try to call those phone numbers. Locust 93208 is no longer, well, someone else has it. They probably won't appreciate you. But thank you, Carter. That is really awesome. That is just, I will definitely find a place to hang that in here somewhere. Or set it up on probably on a shelf over there with all the other stuff that have come from viewers. That is awesome. Also have a letter from, let's see if I can set this back up there with any kind of, Ryan Griebel. Chris, we farm with many Olivers, including a 1655 diesel, 1850 diesel, 770 diesel, 770 gas, 88 gas, 88 gas standard, 88 Wheatland diesel, 77 standard diesel, 66 gas, and a Super 99 Waukesha diesel. So, excuse me, I had 2 wisdom teeth out 2 days ago, so while talking to my uncle, that bought the tractor, he told me he bought it in Ada, Michigan, which Ada is, I looked it up, it's just east of Grand Rapids, so it's an hour-and-a-half drive from here. I was wondering if it may have come from your dealer. The guy we bought it from said it was bought locally from a dealer. And the serial number is 520657-C99D. And if you're wondering, C99D is a transmission code. Just trying to find out as much information as possible on the tractor has been one of my favorites for a long time. P.S. Love your videos, so educational. I watch them over and over. Your stories are always fun to listen to. Thank you for taking the time to create such great content. Thank you very much, Ryan. Well, I've got your serial number here. And normally I would say call the Floyd County Museum. But I'm not going to do this for everybody. But while I was looking up Ryan's serial number, some years ago, my wife and I used to edit the Hart Parr Oliver Collector magazine. And I did an article on Super 99s. And so Mary Ann at the museum, who is unfortunately no longer with us, she sent me copies of, they didn't use build cards in South Bend where the Super 99s were built. They used these build records. And it was one large sheet of paper, and she couldn't get it all in the copier. So she had to make like 2 copies of the left side of the page and 2 copies of the right side of the page. There's some overlap, so if you take the tab off here and lay them out and overlap them, you get a pretty good size sheet. And then from there you get serial numbers, where they were going to, the order code, order number, serial number for the engine. Then they kept track to how many were 99 diesels with the Waukesha gas or HC, high compression, and then GM, then tire options, just all the different options. So I went through the list just to see if it did get shipped, and I found, let's see, he says the serial number is 520657, which I found right here. And then I need to look up which year this is. They only put the month and the date, and at the beginning of the year they would put the year. Oh, there was a January. No. February. I'm going the wrong direction. Come on. 520. You'd think I'd be more prepared. How do we get, or is that a 12? Yeah, there's pages and pages and pages of this. Or is that 11 of 16? Yeah, there's 12. Golly, I might have to break out a serial number book to see what year. Look, there's a couple experimentals, I'm guessing. EX. Come on, screen. But that one went to Australia. That one, oh, EX is probably export, because that one went to Venezuela. That one went to Brazil. A lot of these Super 99s got exported. I will say that. Into 521. All right, I had to look it up. So 52657 would be 1956. It's built on March 16th, but it shows that Ryan's tractor was originally shipped to Portland, Oregon, not Michigan. Now that ain't written in stone, and these South Bend tractors can be tough to figure some of that stuff out, because like we'll go right here to well, let's go to the copy of the bottom half of the page. So we got Portland, Oregon, number 520. 657. Where's my pencil? Or a pointer. A pointer. How about this screwdriver? Okay. 520, 657, Portland, Oregon. And it does show It's in the 6-cylinder diesel column. They had built 112 up to this point, so when that one was built, we jumped up to 113. And this is the HC. It isn't one of those, so none added there. The previous one was a GM powered, so it wasn't that, so they don't add to the number there. But what can happen is we go right below, we've got an earlier number of, I think my fluorescent lights are causing a pattern here in the lighting. 520-046 was a stock tractor. Okay, it doesn't like that word, but it was tractor built for inventory, we'll call it that. And so on, let's see, that'd be March 19th. That one that was built for inventory was then sent to Salonique, Greece. Now, I've seen other ones that had destinations besides inventory. There was a couple of them that were sent to Salonique, Greece. 1, 2. But if their destination got changed on the date that that happened, they would make a new entry right in with everything else with the serial number. So you'll see jumps, 657, 658, 659. All of a sudden, we're at 046, and then 108, and then 654, which was just built a couple days prior, was supposed to be an inventory tractor, and it got shipped to Sydney, Nebraska. 655, which was built for inventory, then got shipped to Napanee, Indiana. So digging through, where's the next marker that I put in here? Right there. I'm going through the list trying to see if 520-657 appears again, to see if its destination got changed, and I did not find that. But what I did find was that number 520-604 that was built for inventory then got shipped, and it doesn't give a date. The next date is May 3rd, but it says GM show. And that is pretty cool, because in 1956, GM had what they called the Power-Rama show. And let me see if I can find some pictures. Okay, I figured before I put my foot too far in my mouth, I better double check some dates. And this GM show is in 1956, which would have been after the 1955 Power-Rama. I think I've narrowed down the serial numbers for the Power-Rama tractors, but let's just click on an image here. If I Google search GM's 1955 Power-Rama tractor, they had, let's see if it'll get bigger when I turn it. No. But trying to avoid some copyright issues here, I'm just filming my phone. But feel free to put in GM 1955 Power-Rama tractor, and you will find video and pictures of Super 99 GM diesels painted in this unique color scheme. And they did square dancing with them. Some were dressed with straw hats and some with ladies' hats. And the YouTube video has some of that. I can put a link to some of that in here somewhere in the video. But in 1956, they didn't have quite as grand of a show, but it was Motorama from what I can find. And that was more of a touring one, whereas Power-Rama was held in Chicago. It was a multi-million-dollar event. It was pretty much everything GM had their fingers into. And it was huge. Let's see, yeah, dust off your biggest adjective, Chicago. The big show is coming to town. So anyways, just looking here, I found where looks like serial number 520604 was a GM show tractor. It was originally an inventory tractor. If I say that word, my camera no longer records because of voice commands. So anyways, so they took it out of stock on this day, which must have been May 2nd, and redirected it towards that. So just something cool I stumbled across while trying to see if I could find where Brian's tractor had been redirected or something. Just to skip through a little bit. Now here's one 520-188 went to the engineering department. Here's a couple that went to Saskatoon, Canada. They were popular there. Most of these were domestic. Here's a Brisbane, Australia. Oh, here's another gene. Oh no, that's the same page. Just a second copy of it. Australia, Canada, Montana. But, let's just skip ahead a couple more pages until we can find some cool locations. Columbia, South Carolina. Ooh, special order. Those were probably pan scrapers, because that's where they sent them to be converted into pan scrapers. So those are probably unique serial numbers. Which one have we got? Special 520, 746, 747, 748. Wonder if any of those tractors are still kicking. Oh, getting too many jammed together. Here's several that went to Australia, Canada, Wichita, Kansas, Mexico. But I could not find another entry for Ryan's tractor. Maybe I haven't looked far enough. I got into 1957. I didn't go through all of that. Trying to see if his serial number appears again. It is entirely possible. That can be the tough part. But as far as it possibly being from our family dealership, I kind of doubt it, because Dad said the best that he could recall, they never sold any Super 99s or 990s out of here. It was just not a size of tractor that was popular here. We were pretty much row crops and livestock, and not the biggest model. We were always like Super 88s and 880s. Those were popular here, but you got into those bigger tractors, you couldn't put a mounted picker on them or a cultivator on them, so no one wanted them around here. Just wasn't practical. So I seriously doubt it came from our area. And right now, well, Ada Grand Rapids, who knows what stories it has to tell. Like I say, it might be back in here somewhere where I haven't found it, where it got redirected from Oregon all the way back. And here's a bunch that went to Paraguay, Mexico. I'm getting distracted again. But so I'm not sure what I could tell you much more on the history of your tractor. I would recommend calling the museum. I mean, they've got all this stuff, and it's a little more organized than what I've got, because it's all one sheet instead of 4 copies to make one sheet. So it's probably a little easier for them. You're also supporting the museum by ordering it, and that's always good. And then one other thing I got here, speaking of Super 99s, my good friend Anthony sent me this. I had mentioned to him I didn't have the parking brake lock for, well, either my Super 99 or 990, and he had an extra one around and sent it to my way. So thank you very much, Anthony. That is greatly appreciated. I know I've had it for a while, but so let's see. I think that is all the goodies. Today's tripod was brought to you by a pattern from the factory. I say this was a disc spool, but this wood pattern was, I just got this at an auction in 2020, right before the world shut down with COVID. This is the pattern they would use to make the sand form to pour in. So they would set this in their box with the foundry sand and pack it around and the 2 halves, and then separate the 2 halves, take this out, then you got your hollow space to pour your casting. And that's what it looks like to me, as a spool spacer for a disc. It seems like it would be open through the middle, but maybe they had some other provisions for that, or maybe these black parts come off. I don't want to break it. And then it's got an inventory tag of just 163. So Still, I thought they were neat. They weren't too expensive at the auction, so I raised my hand. I got a couple of them. But I think that's going to be it for this one. I appreciate everybody watching and hope to see you in the next one. Until then, stay warm. And thank you, everybody, for the goodies you have sent. They are greatly appreciated.